Okay, W is the move, space to jump. Sounds reasonable. Uh, Probably pretty much every game. G to fight. Alright. Well, left to attack, right to block. Well, let's see how this one goes. Wait, hold on. Am I just seeing that the... Why is the ability tutorial all the way back there? I mean, should have been closer, no? Whatever. I'm a pro anyways. So you can build by pressing 6. Okay. 5. Okay. They're probably gonna explain that you have other abilities and other defenses, like from 1 to 8, and that 1 to 3, and uh, right? Oh, you got more heroes. F1 through F4. Again, press 5 for flamethrower? I mean, they could have explained this better. No? Oh, if you survive all waves, you complete the map. But it's so far away, you can't even see that almost. Hello and welcome to my progression guide video. I'll do my best to guide you from the early game to the end game. What you just saw was just a snippet of the tutorial, which in my opinion is really lacking. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. So I'm gonna pretend that you beat through the campaign and you just stuck not knowing what to do after campaign. So I'll do my best to guide you what comes after campaign, what you can do, what you should do, and what you probably shouldn't do, like what I did on my new playthrough, which was hell. So let's get straight into the video. Well, you gotta love it when files corrupt. Well, as you can see, I'm already level 50 with Ascension 206. I already played through a lot. As you can see, Chaos 8 already in the top right over here. So let's go with the progression. First of all, right after you get out of campaign, you should go over here to adventures. Here you can see you have 5 levels. Each of these levels have like 3 or 2 smaller levels. These bigger levels are called regions. So each region in adventures will grant you, I believe, around 75 gems to 100 gems. I don't know. I just know that the total, if you beat all 5 of them in adventures, you get 450 gems, which if you click the same things I clicked in the adventure rewards down here, it should display what you haven't acquired yet or what you can acquire. So once you do the adventures, it's actually pretty easy. I think these adventures are like not even Chaos 1, they're still campaign difficulty. They're all pretty straightforward, nothing difficult. It's just so you can learn a few things, see how the maps work before you go to the next area, which will be expeditions. Now, these expeditions are a little difficult. Right at the adventures, it tells you what maps to play and everything. In expeditions, you go through the chaos tiers. As you can see here, under the expedition here says Chaos 1, Chaos 2, Chaos 3, Chaos 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Currently there's 8. In the next update, there's supposedly going to be Chaos 9 as well. So, let's start with Chaos 1. Also, as you can see, in Expedition, it even tells you which enemies you can face. Of course, it disappeared too soon. So, let me pull up the important enemy for Chaos 1, the Vanguard, if I remember correctly. These enemies will be showing up in every single lane, as you can see. So they're in the middle, they're in the middle again, they're in the middle. As you can see, these guys are going to come out in 3 waves. So in the first wave, you're going to have only these Vanguards. And the second and third waves are going to have all of the other enemies. You just repeat it until you are satisfied. As you can see, I just spammed a lot of these. And then, you know, just because I can, I would just place down a, a cannonball in behind. Just so to help deal with any mobs that come close. The cannonballs are also going to deal more damage. than the flame auras. However, because you're gonna have these packs of mobs, um, they are just going to waltz right through. It's also nice to mention that if you click on browse, it will tell you that difficulty KS2 will have new enemies called the cyborgs. They're orc units, utilize a rare element, their weapon and armor, blah 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 blah. They will disable traps, auras, and nodes. Also towers. It should also say towers. So Chaos 2. In Chaos 2, I did something like this. I just used a lot of these range projectiles because the cyborgs will disable your defenses if they get too close. So for the cyborgs, you want to have a lot of projectile defenses. So I just went with the Squire because I find the Squire to be really powerful in the early game. And then for anything that might be um that might get too close, or just bunched up too much at the barricade, I just have a random flame aura. Now do remember to auto equip every time you have the chance. To auto equip, just go to inventory. You click auto equip gear, auto equip relics. Whatever is gonna be good is gonna get equipped. I hope this build also works for you in Chaos 2. I might have been lucky with some mods that I used. Uh, I have also done a cheap little trick. As soon as I got 1,000 defender unit or defender medals, excuse me, I bought a defense rate shard. It's a Chaos 4 shard, which you're gonna want to farm for later. And I also had 2 destructions already, so I just had my uh, cannibal tower and the ballistas already equipped with destruction and defense rate shards. So yeah, maybe I overkilled it. Chaos 3 Geodes. As you can see in Chaos 3, you get both Vanguards from Chaos 1 and the new Geodes from Chaos 3. I just remembered I failed to mention in Chaos 2 you only get the Cyborg, so you don't actually need the Flame Aura. You can go for more projectile if you want. But yeah, difficulty Chaos 3, you get Geodes and the Vanguards, meaning your best friend, yet again, is going to be a trap or an aura. And I just love my Flame Auras, so you know what the deal with the thing is going to be yet again. So, Chaos 3, as you can see in the top left, says Expedition Chaos 3. Um, this is going to be yet another simple build that you've seen already, but I like to tweak it just a tiny bit. By doing something like this. Just creating a kill zone using 3, if you want even 4 flame auras in this one tiny choke point right in front of the barricade. Now, if you feel like one barricade is not enough, I usually also do like a double barricade setup. It can be any barricade you want. I just find that the arcane barricades are slightly better, but a lot of people just use or arcane barriers. A lot of people use the Squire's barricade. And yeah, as I said, your primary enemy is going to be the Geodes and also the Vanguards. So you will want to do just a lot of auras and traps. I personally just like a lot of flame aura spam. Now, if you don't like that, or maybe if you want to use explosive traps, you can also do the same. Just like this, and then maybe in the back and in the front, or maybe even between. But yeah, there's a couple of builds you can do. I personally just did it with flame auras. Now, there is a shard that you will want to get in Chaos 3. It is called the Deadly Strikes. The Deadly Strikes shard, as you can see on the screen, increases your defense's range. And when I equip this, you can see my flame auras have bigger range than they had before. Fully upgraded defense deadly strikes increases the range by 39%. You want to build to get a few of these. I would recommend grinding for at least one for your flame auras. You don't really need it for your projectile defenses, but if you want, get 3 before you move on to Chaos 4. Chaos 4, the new enemy, Berserker. These orcs are immune to slows. So, if you have any slow defense, don't even bother. Uh, I would honestly recommend doing a lot, except for like you can stun, which I'm gonna show you right now. Also, you got the same geodes and um, vanguards as before. So for Chaos 4, I like doing the following. Using your elemental combinations. Until Chaos 3, you can really just brute force it. Chaos 4 and on, I always try to do these elemental combos. Of course, I prefer Petrify because it stuns mobs. This is also why I recommend getting 3 at the bare minimum destructions, because this setup is the setup that I would recommend most people to gear up as soon as possible. Giving the poison dart towers the piercer servo, just so it can pierce all of the really annoying geodes and vanguards and poison them as well. Now, if you didn't see my previous video, Earth and Poison will petrify, so that means stunning an opponent. And remember, the Berserkers are immune to slows. Now, stun is not the same as a slow, so you want to stun them as soon as they... I think the range, without any upgrades, because I obviously have Deadly Strikes on them, it's probably going to be somewhere over here. So placing it a little further back. You can also place them right in front, or right behind, I should say, to petrify them as soon as possible, and having the flame auras on the petrified targets would be perfect. Now in Chaos 4, you have one important shard that you will want to farm for hours, days even. You will return back to this difficulty later to farm for this shard, so might as well do it now, save it as soon as you get it. It is called the defense rate shard. Now, the most important factor in this game is to gain shards. Now, defense rate, or the most important damage factor, the DPS factor, would be increasing the defense rate and how fast a defense attacks. Rate. So whenever you can, get defense rate mods and defense rate shards. So Chaos 4 is going to be your best friend to increase your damage. Just skyrocketing. The damage is going to skyrocket. Farm for it. Lose your life to Chaos 4. I did as well. Chaos 5, everyone's most favorite difficulty, because it has all the annoying enemies you want in one single mission. And a new one, the Dark Assassins. These enemies literally teleport to you and shank you to death. And they also hug you to death. So you want to kill them before they kill you. And I'll show you how. So, Chaos 5. Ooh, everyone loves this map. Or this difficulty, I should say. And bring out the build, which you've seen already. Jesus, I build slowly. Anyways, Chaos 5. As you saw again, use the Petrify combo. Why? Well, when the assassin jumps on you, you can stand right in front of your two defenses that petrify, so earth and poison, and they will petrify the assassin when they hit it, and the assassin will stop attacking you, and it will also latch off of you. So, if you don't want to deal with them, I think there is a way around this. Well, you can cheese it, I think. Nope, assassins do still exist on this map, even though it doesn't have any flying. Ay, never mind. So you can do a similar build on multiple maps. With slight variations, you can build more Earth Shatter Towers, more Poison Dart Towers, more Flame Auras, whatever you want. You can even do a different defense if you fancy using the what is it called? The Ballista. You can even use the Cannibal Towers. Those two are also physical defenses, so you can attune them with elements like Poison and Earth and get the exact same thing, or you can petrify them, but with different defenses. As long as you have Poison and Earth, they will be petrified. Now, Chaos 5, I know there is 2 shards you want to grind for. If there's more, I'm going to throw them on the screen again. So, you have Explosive Poison, the most important shard, or second most important actually, because defense rate is more important. Second most important shard for the Poison Dart Tower. AoE poison upon killing an enemy. Who doesn't want to have AoE what is it called? Petrify, Brain Fart. And the other one is going to be Burning Strikes. This is what's gonna save you so many brain cells. Basically, you will be able to ignite your enemy, which is a combination of oil and fire. However, this ignite will only proc the ignite, but not the 25% damage bonus. I have asked multiple people, everyone said that it doesn't give you the plus 25% damage, so the only reason you would use it is against the Drakenfrost enemy. You just basically attack and you hope it gets burnt, and then it drops the shield and you just murder it without needing the Huntress to do the oil flask and the piercing flame phoenix attack. Chaos 6, the new enemy Hex Throwers. They are very fun, mind you. So as you can see in this difficulty, you get the exact same enemies as last difficulty, except that you will also have Hex Throwers added to these really annoying enemies, mind you. Hex Throwers, what they do is, as they throw their javelin, it will curse the defense that it hits, basically reducing the defense rate and damage output, so your DPS is going to completely fall off. So the way to prevent them from doing much is, yet again, with the usage of auras and traps, but you can also use projectile defenses if you have the range from Chaos 3's Deadly Strikes. Now, for Chaos 6, you can do this exact same build again if you wish to do it, and just spam more Flame Auras if you have a map with which allows you to build with more DU. Or you can just do what you did in Chaos 1 and just spam Flame Auras again. I don't recommend this, mainly because you will want to have some way of petrifying or electrocuting. You need some sort of crowd control so that you stun your opponents. Now, I did it with this. However, I had them like, well, you get the gist. I went to the max range and then max range again to cover the most areas with my Flame Auras. And then I had the Petrify combo if any enemy gets close enough. So Chaos 6, I'm actually trying to think, but I don't think there is a shard you want to farm for. If there is, I'm gonna show it on screen. If not, then sorry for wasting your time. Let's go to Chaos 7. Chaos 7, new enemy, the Kobolds. They're very not that difficult to deal with, actually. All they do is they disable defenses when they explode, which is true, but it's whatever because they usually die before they do anything. So Chaos 7, really not all that difficult if you use elemental combos like Petrify. Chaos 7. Now in Chaos 7 you can do the exact same thing. You can do this yet again if you wish to do it. Chaos 7 is really not all that difficult. I did it again with the Earthshatter Tower, Poison Dart Tower, Barricade, and some Flame Auras. However, I did have some trouble with my barricades already, getting like 1 or 2 shots, so usually I use 2 barricades instead of 1, and I also use the Arcane Barriers instead of the Spike Blockades, because they also dealt more attack damage. As you can see, this one deals 44k, this was 238. Honestly, the damage is minimal in my opinion, but still, it does damage. Just because it does more damage, I opted to use the Arcane Barriers over the Spike Blockades. Chaos 7. Oh, for such, like, quote-unquote end game, you don't have a lot of shards. I don't think there's any shard that you want to farm for. Maybe there is. I forgot. I'm going to quickly check, and I'm going to show it on screen if there is any Chaos 7 shard that you will want to farm for. Difficulty where you're going to be for a while to gear up. You will want the correct setup. You will want literally the correct setup if you don't want to get boosted, because the next difficulty, Chaos 8, is going to be chaotic, literally, because of one special enemy. The Death Weavers, or Spiders, as we like to call them. These mobs, these Chaos mobs are really annoying, mind you. They basically prevent you from being able to use auras and traps effectively. So you will want to use range projectile defenses only or primarily. Mind you, I never beat Chaos 8 with my alternative account that I have right here. I use my main to play on a second Steam account, and I just basically boosted myself up to Chaos 8 because honestly, Chaos 8 is difficult. The way I beat Chaos 8, I'm gonna have to go on my main account and show you the 2 ways that I used to beat Chaos 8, and then all the other, and then you can experiment with other defenses, or other ways, I should say. So, Chaos 8, I'm currently on my main account. Gonna show you how I did it on Dragonfall Town and how I do it on Lost Dungeons, Unholy Catacombs whenever I farm. So, this is what I used on the Gates of Dragonfall. Basically had my Petrify here in the back. I had the Reflect Beam because of the Hex Throwers, always destroyed my defenses on like the 4th or 5th wave. Also had a second Petrify combo up here with the Proton Beam, so I had to use 2 EVs. There we go. So, the first EV has Poison, second EV, first, the second one has Poison, the first one has Earth. So you want to use Poison in front of Earth, because you need to apply Poison first, then Earth, to do the Petrify, which I don't know. I've even done it the other way. As you can see, Earth and Poison, it was just as good. But you know, just to be safe, do Earth and then Poison. Sorry, Poison, then Earth, just to be safe. And then I had extra DU, so I just slapped down a electric strikes aura. And these flame auras up here, really, you just need the range. Which I don't think you can do. Maybe you could, I don't know. This is how I managed to do it, so if you want to do the same thing, you're going to be farming Chaos 7 for a long time until you can get your hands on the Petrify combo, so meaning you will need to get 2 EVs. You will need to gear your Earth Shatter Tower and your Poison Dart Towers. Now, I currently use Controller, Piercer, Anti-Melee. Doesn't matter. You want Piercer Servo. That's your #1 priority. If you got a defense rate shard, even better, just to cap out defense rate. You want Explosive, Poison, Destruction, defense rate. Very important mods to have. Flame Aura, it doesn't matter at this point. You don't need to gear it. And Proton Beams, you just want Earth, the other Poison. It's all that matters. And of course, on the star of the show, the... Oh, that's not the guy. On Earth Shatter Towers, you want Earth Toss, Destruction, and Defense Rate. And on... As a mod, I don't think it matters. Having defense rate would be nice. Shatterquake, my opinion, good mod. Your opinion can differ. So maybe just getting a defense rate is enough, but as long as you have these 3 shards, you should be good. So the other 2 ways I farm Chaos 8. This is going to be really expensive builds, mind you. I do not recommend doing this unless you have the exact same setup as I have. It is just not going to be effective. So you want to have the Poison and Earth to Petrify. Honestly, the main reason is for the Kamikaze, the Flying Kobolds, to suicide into your nodes instead of your artilleries. I usually put 3 artilleries. Why the lightning strikes aura? It's because I have a destructive pylon, which is something that I'm gonna go over when you go through primes, which is something you should do after expeditions. My other setup is just 4 skeletal archers, and again the same thing over there. Now the actual mod or relic that I use is this. Piercer Servo, defense rate, defense range, with destruction, mass destruction, and double tap. Of course, whenever I use the artillery cannons, I use the overcharge instead of double tap. Now, this is a very expensive setup because you need defense rate servo, you need Piercer Servo, can be anything really, and defense range is like, do you want more range? Or you can go anti-melee if you want more damage. This is up to you. I personally like the range, that's why I went with it. And yes, I do swap this particular relic from my skeletal archers to my artillery cannons. Of course, I also swapped the destruction and mass destruction between the 2 defenses as well. When I get into incursions, you can just left click to go into primes instantly, or you can also just, you know, click 1 by 1 until you reach past Chaos 7 into Chaos 8, which is going to be the primes. So for beating prime 1, you get the destructive pylon. Beating prime 2 gets you explosive shield guard. Beating all maps in prime 3 gets you thunderstruck. Being all maps in Prime 4 gives you Radiant Critical Power. Beating all maps in Prime 5 gets you Automation, very important Hyper Shard. It passively and automatically acts like a Tenacity 10 out of 10 Chaos 8, so it will completely negate all the Cyborgs. Very important. Prime 6, you get Vicious Strikes. Prime 7, you get Juggernaut. For beating all of the maps, you get Mass Destruction. Now, for doing Mastery, you get Mass Destruction at 50 stars, and then that's my knowledge of Mastery ends because, no, I'm not doing more Mastery. If you want to do all the Masteries to get your second pair of Hyper Shards, go right ahead. There's currently a bug that you can beat the Prime Incursions twice to get the same shard. I have it in my inventory here. As you can see, a Destructive Pylon, and I have a Destructive Pylon on my Lightning Strikes aura. Now, I already reported it as a bug because I don't think you're supposed to get two hyper shards from doing the incursions, or two of the same from prime incursions. And that's about it. So, to quick recap from campaign, go into adventures, go into expedition, then choose onslaught if you want to climb, mastery if you want to wreck your brain, incursions if you want to get some hyper shards, which is Chaos 8 difficulty, so you will want to reach Expedition Chaos 8 first and get gear before you go into Incursions. Lastly, you can also just ask people for a carry and hope they carry you through the content so you can become strong and carry someone else later in life. I hope I've explained it well enough for all of you people how you should progress through the game. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you have any opinions, feel free to leave it in the comments. If you have any hate comments, mind you, I will return the hate. um, but yeah, I'd like to thank you all for watching. I hope this video helps you. If you have any specific question, like a specific build guide, if you want anything specific, feel free to comment down below. Go even into my Discord, private message me if you want. I'll do my best to help as much as I can. Um, so yeah, if you have any question, leave it down below. If you want me to make a video on a specific topic, leave it down below. If you want me to collab with someone, I highly doubt it. Highly doubt anyone would want to collab with me. So, and thank you all for watching. Hope this helps out, and I'll see you all in Chaos 8 Prime Incursions, and hopefully floor 999 in Onslaught, which I don't think I'm reaching anytime soon. Peace.